Hey everybody, welcome back to the family channel.
Hi!
We hope you guys are having a fantastically awesome day so far, and we hope you had an awesome weekend. Today we are reacting to 7 things that are surprisingly cheap in the USA. And Kat and I were having a discussion yesterday after she watched this documentary or news thing.
Yeah, it was something just popped up on my phone.
About how expensive Slovakia is getting, and in Poland it's up to 75% cheaper to do grocery shop and stuff. So Kat's trying to convince me to go for a drive there sometime.
Yeah, because it's just a short drive. It's probably 45 minutes up to an hour. And
Which, to be fair, I thought it was a lot further than that. So now that I know that it's not that far, I'm happy to go for a drive whenever.
Yeah, because I want to actually go and see if that's actually really true. Because currently in Slovakia, like, it's everything is just like
really
literally jumping up.
I'm sure it's the same where you guys are as well, but it's like crazy how much it's
And
gone.
then from January 2025, the tax also is going up to 23% from 20%.
And the VAT.
And the VAT. So obviously everything will go up even higher.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, like, what is going on? Like, how come one country around the corner can be 75% cheaper?
Maybe their government's a bit less corrupt.
Maybe.
Anyway, before we get into today's video, if you guys haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you're wondering what this is, I'm sure T. Nugent will probably say, oh, it's cake or something. It's not. It's insulation. There's paint from the insulation. It's not washing out. I do apologize. Anyway, without further ado, let's check out 7 things that are surprisingly cheap in the USA.
So today, are you going to do the video, Chewy?
Quite
Yes,
loud.
I'm going to do the whole video. Wow. You're over it already? Yes, I'm over it already.
You're not a very good mom.
Today we are going to look at a couple of things that are actually more expensive in Europe than they are in the USA. Now, this might come as a surprise to you because generally speaking, most of us know that the cost of living in the USA is higher than in Europe. And when I say that, it's important to note that I am talking about overall in general. So there are poor areas, wealthy areas of Europe and the USA, and the disparity between the cost of living in those is massive. And again, on a personal level, the parts of the USA that I have seen are mostly cities. However, when I was making up the numbers of this list, I took the entire Europe and USA into account. So when we're talking averages, that's what I'm bringing in. Gosh, that was a lot of technical stuff getting it out of the way, but it's important, you know?
Careful now, don't overextend your brain head.
I mean, it's common sense that the cost of living in Ireland or Finland is going to be more expensive than it is in the Ukraine or in Moldova, for example. But it's just worth putting it out there. We're bringing in the wealthiest and the poorest and finding an average. So enough blah blah blahing, let's get on with the list. The first thing should not come as a shock to you. You've probably heard about it. It's the cost of gasoline. We call it petrol. The price of petrol/gasoline is extortionate in Europe right now, and it is in part.
Our car as well is so thirsty, isn't it? It's only a 2.4. 2.4. Kat's choice of car when we were shopping, but anyway, let's not get into that. But it's so thirsty, and every week we are having to put so much money's worth of petrol in there, and we don't really go anywhere.
Yeah. No, it's just a little trips to the town.
But I think that's what it is with your car.
Yeah, because when we go on a motorway, it's perfect.
Yeah.
But because we live like 5 minutes, 10 minutes drive from the town.
What
which
should be 5-10
takes
minutes.
us 40 minutes.
But there's so much traffic.
It's crazy. You
Yeah.
have to fill up literally every week.
Yeah, and like and his hockey as well, like because we're going back and forth, although he does get the bus and that quite often now.
You guys take me to school and I go home on bus or train.
Yeah, but
It's like
it
that.
just adds up so much, and the price of fuel is frustrating
Yeah.
actually.
We probably would be better
Thanks
off
to all the awful things going.
by getting a car on a finance and paying off the finance, because probably we pay much more for the petrol.
At the
than
moment we are.
Or
Then
we
a
should-
monthly car
then a
payment,
monthly car
100%.
payment.
We should just get an electric scooter.
I think we should all just get horses.
Good idea.
Going on in Europe right now. I know in the USA you guys measure stuff in gallons, so let me do that and also give you the numbers in dollars. So in the USA, a gallon will cost you about $3 to $4, whereas in Europe, a gallon could cost you $6 to $8. I've actually heard it being more expensive, but again, we're talking averages. It is the number one thing my homies complain about. As a non-driver, I get to avoid this amount of money, although it does affect the cost of like Ubers and Lyfts and Bolts. But filling up your car in Europe is a massive expense. Is it any wonder some of us have chosen just to do the taxi thing? The next thing is iPhones and all Apple technology. It is way cheaper in the USA than it is in Europe. The latest iPhone is the iPhone 15 Pro, I believe. And in the USA, that could set you back $999 at just a basic cost, like if you're not buying it with the phone plan or anything.
That's in Europe.
The same phone in Europe starts from $1,347.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok the other day of a guy in South Africa saying how the price difference is for Apple products in South Africa. And if you think it's bad here, it's insane over there.
Really?
How weird is that? Like
it's just a phone.
Yeah, but like it just
Miss
doesn't
Apple
make
over here.
sense. Like if you wanna sell loads of Apple.
Yeah, but they do though. They do. If you think about it realistically, if you go to any other shops here that advertise phones, the most popular phone or they display the most of are all Apple.
Yeah.
Which sucks because
Yeah.
I'm not an Apple
I wonder
person.
if you can do that, like when you're in America, get an Apple phone, and if it's gonna work here.
I'm sure it will, but
Or
you'll
you
probably have to get it
unlock
unlocked.
it.
Yeah, get the Sims and then
Yeah.
I'm
unlock.
the only
I think.
Apple person in our
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
However, and we do love a however, phone plans in Europe are way cheaper than in the USA. Right now, I am paying €35 a month. I think the dollar and the euro are about the same right now. Yeah, $35 is €32, so roughly the same. And I would say it's certainly not the cheapest phone plan. Like my mom is on a phone plan that's only €8 a month. And she gets, I think, 2 gigs of data, which she doesn't use a whole lot of data. I need a lot of data. But she gets all her calls for free. And as I understand it, that's an unfathomably cheap amount compared to what you guys pay in the USA. Let me know below in comments what your phone bill is every month.
Sorry to pause again, but the contracts here in Slovakia are quite expensive. When you take data into consideration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Data.
because like mine, like, I don't need a phone. Like I cannot remember the last time anybody phoned me other than the
phoned
courier. No, but I mean other than you four and the courier who phones me when, because here in Slovakia, I don't know if this is normal in America or anywhere else. By the way, we get a phone call when when the courier is delivering something. Oh, I'm going to be there in 5 minutes.
No.
It's so strange.
In America, no, they ring on your bell.
In England, we didn't. They just chuck it over the fence.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I want to get a new phone and that, but I don't need one. But your contract's pretty reasonable, isn't it?
Well, it is reasonable, but like I pay, I think it's 35 euros per month. But if I didn't need so much data, I would be probably paying 10, 12 euros. But because I need quite a lot of data.
But that's without the phone as well. That's just a contract,
that's
like
just a
minutes and that.
contract.
Yeah.
So you can get like a cheaper contract, but it depends what you want. So
Like my one.
Yeah,
Mine's
so-
like €5. It's unlimited minutes, so many text, and I get like 2 gigs of data.
So when we go somewhere and we need data or something, I
Mommy
just share
shares
my
it.
data.
Puts a
because,
hotspot on.
Is 2 gigs a lot?
No.
I'm interested to hear. The next thing, and this comes with a little bit of a caveat because it definitely does vary a lot in Europe. So I'm going to put it with an asterisk. It's alcohol. And this
Cheap,
is
yeah.
definitely where my subjective experience comes into things. So on this one, I'm talking about Northern Western Europe versus the parts of the USA that I have seen. A can of beer in the USA in a supermarket can be anything from $1 to $3 for a domestic beer. Craft beers obviously run up higher. In Europe, the disparity is much wider and it can go from 75 cents to $4.50. Countries such as Norway, Switzerland, and Ireland have much higher prices for the cost of alcohol because we have huge taxes on the consumption of alcohol. It might be a good thing they put that on in Ireland, but I don't think it stopped the drinking culture a hell of a lot. But alcohol in Ireland,
In Slovakia, it's cheap as chips, man. Like a bottle of cheap gut rot vodka is cheaper than broccoli.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
Like alcohol is like more cheaper than anything.
It's like they like support alcoholism.
Yeah, you go to like whenever you go anywhere, like when you go to Garen's games and there's other parents there that have travelled in on the bus or something, like on the tour, like what is it, team bus, or anywhere you go, there's people drinking their shots It's just like weird to me
Yeah,
because
and
I hate shots.
And that's early in the morning.
Yeah, like
as
9, 7 in the morning, they're having a beer and a shot, and I'm like, how do you do it, man?
Yeah,
But
I don't know how
it's
people
really
do
cheap,
it,
yeah.
but it's very common, like, and that's why probably there is quite a lot of people drinking in Slovakia. Isn't
Like
it?
a pint, what is it? Like a draft beer. A draft beer in the pub here is like €2.50, I think. The last time we went.
Even probably too much, you're saying.
Yeah, but like,
You go to like a village pub,
and then it's like €1
that,
something
€1.
for a 500ml beer. So yeah, it's quite it's cheap.
Yeah.
It is expensive. But comparatively, the cost of alcohol in Spain, for example, you could get a glass of wine in more regional parts for about €2. I'm not a big drinker myself, but I have noticed that the cost of alcohol there is a lot cheaper. I even remember in Vegas, the cost of cocktails was really expensive, I thought, which was like $18 to $20 for one cocktail. But that's Vegas, so, you know, it's Vegas.
Couldn't justify
Damn
that.
it, Vegas!
Next up, when we are talking about your popular chain coffee places. So your Starbucks, your... I can't remember the name of another coffee place right now.
Pret.
Yeah.
Let's just go with Starbucks. A Starbucks Grande Latte in the USA will cost you approximately $3.65 to $4.15, depending on the taxes and charges in the state that you're in. In Europe, the VAT and operating costs are much higher for a place like Starbucks. So a Grande Latte will typically set you
I
back.
remember Starbucks. We had it like once.
Twice.
Yeah, I'm not a big Starbucks fan. Like, I don't like their coffee. Like, we used to go to Costa.
Costa
Was
Pret.
good, or
Baby
Pret,
Chino.
or something like that. But yeah, they saw Costa on the internet, so they wanted to go. Starbucks. So yeah, but that coffee price is about the same as here, isn't it? No, it's quite cheap
But
here.
we had
Dep-
milkshakes in Starbucks, and those were really good.
Cappuccino.
Yeah, well, I sometimes get this
Iced coffee.
already made iced coffees
yeah.
from the supermarket, and they like €3
Yeah, they're like-
something.
yeah, those are
isn't it?
Starbucks ones.
No. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Those
yeah,
are
the
like
Starbucks
€3-4
ones, yeah.
for 200ml.
Yeah, and it's
little-
like small. You can drink in 2 sips.
Well, like coffee in a coffee shops in Slovakia is quite cheap, isn't
Depend
it?
like
It
if you
depends.
get the cowboy coffee like Kent makes it with just the granules in a cup, that's like not even €1. It's like 50
Yeah.
cents or something. But if you get like a latte on average at Garen's game, I know it's $2.50 because I get like 4 of them while we're watching. In town, it's also about $2.50,
Yeah.
so it's not
Yeah.
too bad.
And but you know
$3.80.
You know what is the weird thing? In some coffee shop, they charge you for a sugar.
Oh
or
yeah, you
milk.
get charged for sugar or milk. Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Yeah, it's not. I don't know what. I think it's only the Slovakian
yeah.
thing.
It has to be.
It's the same with ketchup and the mayo.
And mayo, yeah.
Like if you ask for it, they charge you for
It's like
it.
€1 for a
The
little
place
tub.
where they sell pizza here, we always used to go because it was cheap and good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was cheap and good, but you would pay €1.50 for a small bowl
So
of
Garen
ketchup.
used to nick the ketchup
Yeah.
in his rucksack from home.
When I used to go with my friends there, I used to take the ketchup from home and use.
To $4.90. That's a good chunk if you're having that every day, which I don't recommend. And remember, that's an average. We're talking even higher than that in capital cities. Needless to say, you are better off going to a local cafe if you're visiting Europe, and honestly, probably the coffee will be better quality. The next one is a huge one, and probably the thing that I notice the most when I'm visiting the USA. The cost of clothes there is way cheaper typically.
Oh.
And there are several reasons for this, but perhaps the most interesting one was that a lot of brands found that when selling in Europe, if they tried to sell the clothes for cheaper, they just weren't selling. Whereas when they put a higher price tag on it, for example, the brand
sell more.
Levi's, they tried selling jeans in Europe for the same price as they were selling them in the USA. They found that people just weren't buying them until they put a higher price tag on them. So now you buy a pair of Levi jeans for $90 here, whereas in the USA, you can get them much cheaper.
I am such a cheapskate with clothes, aren't I?
Yeah.
I hate not for everyone else, but for me. Like we'll go to town and Kat will be like, "Oh, here's a nice hoodie," and I'll be like, "Nope,
at the
nope,
price."
it's too much. It's too expensive."
Yep.
I've had the majority of my clothes for years.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But you know what? I actually think that's a good thing because, like, I hate it when I have to throw clothes away.
Oh,
I really, really hate it. I mean, like, we do have these charity bins here that you can take your clothes there and donate them.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't understand why people need so much clothes.
Well, yeah, I've got a lot of clothes, but most of mine stay in the back of the cupboard.
Yeah.
That's how I think they last so long. I wear what I've got over and over until it starts falling apart. Like I went to the Eminem concert in 2012 or something. It's written on the shirt. And I still wear that shirt every day. And I was wound up not every day, but like I wear it all the time. And I was wound up because there's a hole in it now. But I've had that for so long.
Yeah, Leia, why do you need so many clothes?
Yeah, and shoes.
Leia.
Anyway.
I definitely find this with a lot of the popular stores. I'm usually shocked at how cheap you can get like a t-shirt or a jacket for there. But yeah, your cost of clothes is much cheaper because the snobby European element apparently wanted the Emperor's New Clothes out and be like, we're paying more, so they're better quality. But they're not necessarily. The next thing that always blows my mind in particular is the cost of tech. Now, we touched on this with Apple specifically, but actually it goes much further beyond Apple. Microphones, lenses, headphones, they are all way cheaper to buy in the USA.
Yep.
And part of this could be down to the fact that their home bases are actually in the USA.
It's true.
However, we all know that a lot of products aren't necessarily made.
Because here, when it was Christmas time, and I was picking out my stuff, I wanted to get like a setup for my PlayStation. So we were looking on, what site was it? Alza? Me and you. And the cheapest thing we could find was like 40 euros.
What were we talking about?
Keyboards and mouse.
Oh, yeah. But when I was trying to do research for what laptop to get when my old laptop finally gave out, because I like to research stuff, so I'd go onto the internet, onto YouTube, and watch one of the American videos, and they're like, oh, for under 1,000, it's got all this spec, and the exact same laptop here is like 1,900 or something ridiculous. So
it's crazy, isn't it?
It's mental.
In the USA, a lot be made in China, and we're still paying a lot more for them in Europe.
I wonder if
But
it's
it's still
import
super
taxes or
annoying when you just want to buy a microphone, and it's way cheaper in the USA. It annoys me mostly when I go on a website like Amazon, and you're getting a product for maybe $50 cheaper there than when I go onto the European version of the site. And I'm like, they're probably all coming from the same warehouse. And penultimately, I know y'all love that word as much as I do. Oh, speaking of word, anyway, this next one does not affect me at all, but I know it's a big thing for other people. It's cigarettes. So I'm a non-smoker. But under investigation, I found the cost of cigarettes has a huge disparity between states as well as countries in Europe, as in state to state and country to country. However, the average cost in the USA is significantly cheaper than it is in most of Europe. The average cost of a packet of cigarettes in the USA is typically $6 to $8. You will pay more in a city. Apparently, Missouri has the cheapest cigarettes at $5 a pack. I think when I was researching this, I went by a 20 pack, but if you're a smoker, maybe you could correct me in the comments. However, in the UK and Ireland, the average pack of cigarettes will set you back about $12. And the same is true thereabouts for countries like France and Sweden, where a pack will cost you about $10. The reason for this is down to a lot of public health policies in countries. Just like with alcohol, they put a huge...
See, that's why I will never smoke. First off, it's not healthy. Second, look how much you're spending.
Yeah, you could save. Imagine like you smoke a pack a day, like I used to.
Yeah, didn't you guys say you had like over 10,000 or something?
I worked it out once how much I'd spend on cigarettes, and it was disgusting. It was actually made me sad.
I hated when they smoked.
Yeah, we don't anymore, so that's a good thing,
yeah.
no?
Yeah.
Fee on goods like cigarettes, alcohol. So at a minimum, you're already paying €3 to €4 before you ever smoke the cigarettes.
If we go to America, me and Mummy can get drunk while we smoke cheap cigarettes. On cheap booze and cigarettes.
Does it work? I don't know. All I know is vaping has come back into fashion, and that skipped a whole generation, but now it's back and the young'uns are vaping. And finally, the number one thing is something I can absolutely speak on. It's ice cream. I am shocked at how cheap ice cream is in the USA. Now, I'm not talking gelato or anything fancy schmancy like that you'd find in Italy, or even like a nice gelato place in Spain. I'm talking generic brands. Magnum, Häagen-Dazs, Ben & Jerry's, way cheaper in the USA. And this upsets me greatly.
I love my ice cream.
ice cream. Not a week will go by where I don't have at least one ice cream. And I
Not
don't
a
care
day
if
goes
it's
by
cold,
where
Sheila.
Gary doesn't
I
have
want
any
ice
ice
cream.
cream.
It
In
really
summer.
doesn't bother me.
You'd
if
look
it's
at him
cold.
and he's in bed with an ice
The
cream.
ice cream should be cold. My body temperature, I can put on a jumper. This is me comparing the cost of Haagen-Dazs in a supermarket in the USA versus in Europe. So here I am in a supermarket in the USA, and a tub of Haagen-Dazs is approximately $6.29, whereas in Europe it is €7.35, which is closer to $8. I actually have a whole video on the cost of stuff in supermarkets. If you want me to do a comparison for you, let me know below in comments. Otherwise, that's it for today. See you guys on the other side. Bye.
I was more surprised about the alcohol and cigarettes and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
that's very expensive.
I thought cigarettes were going to be really expensive
Even
over
the
there.
alcohol.
Yeah. What?
Because like
The way you looked at me there.
like it's very shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, the cigarettes in England are like that's one of the main reasons. Well, no, I started smoking roll-ups, like where you roll your own, because it was more cheaper and I preferred them. But the cigarette price were outrageous, weren't they? And the price she gave is just for like a crappy brand,
Yeah.
like Marlboro or something, and they went up to a lot of money, didn't they?
Yeah.
I can't even remember the prices, but yeah, we stopped smoking. It took a while because I had to convince Kat to stop. And then Kat would pick an argument with me so she could go out and have an excuse for a
Mummy would
cigarette.
always tell us, okay, come on, let's go to the park. And then you'd look at her, she's in the corner smoking a cigarette.
Terrible. Terrible. Because I'm quite good. I could
Yeah.
just stop.
Yeah.
But mommy needs to with you.
Yeah.
Otherwise-
Yeah, if Kat was still smoking, I'd probably still be smoking. Because you smell it and
Yeah. Horrible.
it's a horrible
I
habit.
hate that smell.
Yeah, now when you go somewhere and you smell that, it's horrible.
It's horrible. It's
Sometimes
painful.
though, sometimes I get a whiff and I'm like, I miss it, but very
Most
rarely.
of the time it's horrible, isn't it?
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening. What are we gonna do now?
Garen is gonna study.
Leia's got her friends coming
I'm gonna
over,
probably do some more work. Leia has got friends coming over.
and I'm having an early night.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening, and we will see who win.
Next
video.
video.
Bye.